already with us.
There we go. How are you?
Oh, I'm awesome. And you?
I'm fantastic. Excited to be here.
Oh, we also thank you so much, Coach Rob, for accepting the invitation and also for your support to all the team. We are very excited to have you here. And I would love to ask you if you can talk a little bit to us, a little bit about you and everything, to everyone to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, so probably 6 or 7 years ago, many of you know BU, Brian Underwood, the CEO of Prove It. We were looking for something to do in this industry, in community-based marketing, network marketing, multi-level marketing, call it what you want. We wanted to do something that would be impactful and call it right place, right time, God's timing, call it whatever you want, great coincidence. I had an apparel company at the time called Prove It. And if you ever hear him tell the story, I was making protein pancakes in his kitchen. I had this shirt on, it said Prove It. And he said, what does that stand for? And I said, well, I'm going to start an apparel company. You know, everyone's got an it. And I want to create apparel that will empower or encourage people to prove their it. It might be lose weight, gain weight, be a better mom, be a better dad, create awareness for cancer research. I don't know. Everybody's got an it. And he said, wow, that's interesting. And he said, by the way, do you know anything about ketones? And I said, I know everything about ketones. And I said, no, really. And I said, no, really, I know everything. Because at the time, my dad had Alzheimer's. He has since passed, but I was researching Alzheimer's. How do you help someone with this neurodegenerative disease, also known as type 3 diabetes? And sure enough, I ran across ketones. Myself being a lung cancer survivor, most people don't know that, but there was just unlimited potential with what it could be if we had a drinkable form of ketones, right? And so he asked if I would help launch the company. Oh, by the way, can we use the name of your apparel company to name this company? Because it just makes sense, and it does.
Wow.
We have a product that you can prove within 1 hour, 100% of the time, in the body, in the blood, removes all placebo impact or hypotheticals. It's just real. So if anybody hears anything else that I have to say, we've got a real product with real patents, with real application for anti-aging, you know, because that's the ultimate goal. Whether it's gain weight, lose weight, we all want to age well. And that was 6, 7 years ago. Here we are. Now we're talking to people halfway around the world, sharing a conversation that just matters and it makes a difference.
Yes, wow. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Rob. And we have some questions. We'd love to make you. And I think I'm gonna start. Yeah. So this is a completely new conversation here in Europe. So I believe as a pioneer that I am not bringing a product or a company. We are actually bringing a new whole conversation, a new level up of results, a new level up of community. And you are a pioneer, the pioneer in US. So if you could say something to, and because you already made the journey and now we are starting. So what can you tell us about this journey that we have in front of us?
Well, first of all, I would say congratulations to, first of all, you all for being pioneers and being open to sharing the conversation. If someone has the privilege to hear about this in Europe, or really anywhere around the world outside of the United States, we've been in Australia, we've been in Canada a little bit longer, but the rest of the world, this is a real conversation that's changing lives, and it's real. And we have a company that, you know, people think the magic is the product. It is, but it's also the company and the community, because what we're finding nowadays with the way of the world, people are looking for community, people are looking for financial opportunity, people are looking to make a difference in the lives of others. And we just so happen to check all those boxes. So I would tell you this, number one, in addition to being, grateful for being on this and having the opportunity to share it, understand this is a conversation for everyone. And let me demonstrate. I don't know anything about anybody, where you all live, your neighborhood, cities, towns, countries, whatever. Here's what I do know. If you were to go knock on the door of your next door neighbor and you asked them, hey, have you ever had a protein shake? I bet they would say yes. Hey, have you ever had a vitamin? I bet they would say yes. Hey, have you ever tried an energy drink? Sure. What about one of those nutrition bars or a protein bar? Yeah, I've had all these things. So if our product was a protein powder or a vitamin or an energy drink or a lotion potion pill that everyone's already tried, now I've got to teach you how to be a good salesman, right? Because now we've got to sell what we have better than what they've already experienced. But here's a better question. Have you ever been in ketosis multiple hours, multiple days in a row? Most people don't even know what that means, let alone they're interested in what that might mean for them. So that's the good news here, is this is something that I would beg to differ. Everybody's going to give it a shot. Everybody will try it once, and we don't have to sell it. All we have to do is share and tell it, right? So that's what I think is so powerful, is everybody is a candidate. Here's why. Some people need to gain weight. A lot of people need to lose weight, but we all want to age well. We all want to stay young. We all want to stay sharp. We all want to go through life aging well and feeling good as we go. That's what this offers. So it's not about a diet. It's not about a drink. It's about an entire lifestyle made possible with a simple tool that makes you metabolically better. Let me say that again. We have a simple tool that will make anybody better. And here's how. Let me explain. If you write down these 8 words, this is the difference. You drink our product and you'll be in a better mood and mindset, okay? Those are the first 2 words. I don't know about you, but I make better business decisions. I make better parenting decisions. I make better spiritual, relational. I just make everyday better decisions when I'm in a better mood and a better mindset. I certainly make better appetite and craving conditions or decisions. So those are the next 2 words. I can improve your mood and mindset within an hour. I can improve your appetite and craving control over foods that you know you shouldn't do. I can give you better energy and endurance throughout the day. So those are 5 and 6 words, energy and endurance. When I say endurance, I mean, it just lasts. This isn't a spike and crash stimulant. This is a caloric nutrient. And then lastly, maybe most importantly, I can preserve and protect your lean body mass. I can help you keep muscle. Now, if those 8 words, if I can check mood, mindset, appetite, craving control, energy and endurance, preserve and protect, I would dare say keep and even create lean muscle mass. If I could help you do that with a simple drink and then coach you along the way with community, I'm interested. I'll raise my hand. I'll give that a try. And that's why you guys are here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Oh, this was really different way to see it. A different big picture. Amazing.
Well, here's what I envision. How many people can I be responsible having shared this with? Not everybody's going to say yes today. They might say yes tomorrow, next month, next year. Look at you guys. It's been 6 years before we got halfway around the world. Just one person telling another person who had a great experience, because what we have is real. Yo, this is real science. I'm a guy that I can't pull the punch. I just tell it like it is. If it wasn't the best product, I wouldn't stand here and say it was the best product. If it didn't have proprietary patents and it wasn't special and significant, I couldn't sit here and do this Zoom with you. But it is. This is a product that I'll take. And then it opens the conversation for an entirely other piece. I mean, this is a financial opportunity on a part-time basis, and people are earning full-time income on a part-time basis. And here's the best part. You don't have to be a salesman. certainly not a good salesman. All you have to do is be a messenger of this product, this technology, this opportunity, and then use people like me as a tool to help share the story.
I love it. I
Amazing,
love it.
amazing.
Yeah, Andre, we have here Andre. He's also a big fan of Coach Rob, and he's following your work, your social media. So, Andre, do you want to make a question?
Yes.
Coach Rob.
Yeah. Hi, Coach Rob. It's
hey, buddy. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm very fine. It's a great honor to be sharing this Zoom with you, because I've been following your work by 1-2 years, and awesome. What I have to ask is a main question about persons in sports. That in Portugal it's a very recent thing, because when we talk about ketones, all those things, most of the people dedicated to sports say to us, no, that's not possible for persons that are in sports. So what could you say to all those persons that are mindseted to carbs and all those things? What was your main goal?
Yeah, so let's back up and say, what would be the goal of an athlete, all right? It's to train, compete, recover, repeat. That's their process. They need to train, they need to compete, they need to recover from competition, and then train again. What if what we had to offer could expedite that process? What if it was just about recovery? What if it was just about increased muscle power output? And so I want you guys to lean in and listen to this, because this is not the ketogenic diet. It works well with the ketogenic diet, but I eat carbs. Why? I believe the only diet that'll ever work is the one you'll do, right? And I think it looks different for everyone. So if I'm an athlete, here's my thought, here's my philosophy. How can this help me as an athlete? How can it help me train? Well, there are patents that show improved muscle power output. In layman's terms, what if the brain could tell the muscle to work harder? Well, ketones are a signaling molecule. There are studies, if you go Google right now, ketones, muscle power output patent, you'll find all kinds of research supporting the use of drinkable ketones that you drink exogenously, or even endogenous production using a ketogenic diet that you produce naturally. So that would be one thing, would be, how can this help me improve muscle power output, help me train? Here's another thing. It's very important for an athlete to keep muscle. It's very important for an athlete to create muscle. This formulation is designed with fermented leucine, a patented ingredient called CMed 100. It's got ketones that are naturally fermented. In other words, your brain and body thinks that the body made these ketones. They're bioidentical, if you will. So the brain has access to this incredible fuel source that lends itself to an athlete having greater muscle power output, to an athlete preserving and protecting lean body mass. They don't want to break down. I would tell you ketones will spare glycogen. So glycogen is the carbohydrate fuel in our muscle. And if we could spare glycogen, we could maybe run longer. We could compete harder. We could last or go further. And then maybe most importantly would be recovery. Like, just think about that. We can't make claims. We can't use certain terminology, but all you have to do is go Google ketones and inflammation, ketones and cancer, ketones and arthritis. Just see what the research says and realize we now can introduce this to an athlete. We can give him the benefits of ketones while eating a bowl of oatmeal if that's what he chooses for breakfast. So this isn't exclusive to high fat, low carb. This is exclusive to personal goals. That's why I preach and teach, hey, I'm focused on results, not being in or out of ketosis, not how much fat I can or can't have. What about carbs? Nope. I'm all about what is the diet I'll do that improves my performance. And as an athlete myself, there's not a better, more realistic tool for an athlete. Athletes need this more than they can even imagine, truly.
Amazing.
They need to try it.
Well, and here's what athletes think, and lean in on this one, because this will empower you and completely change your view of the conversation. So when we say ketosis, okay, the word ketosis, that was once synonymous with fat burning. You couldn't be in ketosis without burning fat to create ketones. 6 years ago, you couldn't drink a ketone. It didn't exist. So talk about opportunity and sharing a conversation and being a pioneer. You're sharing something that didn't exist in the world 6 years ago. Just 6 years ago, here's a dietary supplement, a metabolic tool with multiple patents that's exclusive to our company that didn't exist. You couldn't be in ketosis without following either long-term fasting or following a well-formulated ketogenic diet. So now we separate the two. As of 2 years ago, I can get into ketosis without following a ketogenic diet. So let's look at two words, keto and osis, like the prefix and the suffix, like 8th grade spelling or education, right? Well, keto, ketones, osis, the suffix is like a prefix for a condition or a state. So when I drink this, I'm in a condition or a state of ketosis. I didn't burn fat. My body didn't produce them. These were produced in a lab in Dallas, Texas. So it's not immediate fat burning, which is a big misconception. And that's okay, because that's not how fat burning happens. The only fat burner in the world is you, and we must become one. Just so happens drinking ketones controls everything that controls fat loss, appetite, cravings, preservation and protection of muscle, mood and mindset. All of the things that cause people to either get fat or lose fat are controlled using this tool.
Wow, thank you.
This is a completely different way to see the things.
I love the vision. Nelson, do you have a question?
Yeah, when we go, so I think that's global. When we go to a gym and we want to talk to the gym owners, we feel that there is a barrier. It's not easy to get them to want to try. Okay. Yep. What kind of, okay, you explain all the conversation, but is it in US also the same, or is it?
100%, and here's why. As you know, there's a lot of pride, arrogance, and ego. All the know-it-all bro science, that's just how it is. I'm in the industry. I knew it all. I mean, some of my top reps, my #1 rep, Shane Frills, said no for 14 months. He just couldn't grasp ketones. I don't want to give up carbs. He couldn't grasp that. So I would plant the seed, and maybe off record, you and I can come up with some short 1-2 minute clips that maybe they could watch. Hey, fellow gym owners, I know you're skeptic, give me 60 seconds. And then I go on and explain something. And then that just plants the seed. Maybe they want to try it. Maybe they want to buy it. Maybe they don't. But you're first of sharing it with that guy. The last thing that we want to do is go sell and push, because being in the industry that we're in, they don't recognize how real this can be, because most companies don't have a special product. Most people, and there's nothing wrong with that, but most companies do just have a powder or a lotion or a potion or a pill, and there's nothing special about it. It's just overpriced to create the opportunity. Here, you can't go buy a product like this anywhere else on planet Earth. Like, it just doesn't exist. And then someone might say, well, what makes yours better? Let me show you. Let me show you the research. Let me show you the science. Let me show you the patents. And oh, by the way, if you're still not sold, let me show you what your blood work says.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So the short answer is you can't. You just got to go play the role and develop relationships and plant the seed, but maybe we'll do that. I could probably use that as well, as a short little 60-second, hey, I know you're you don't know me. My name's Coach Rob DEBOER, but you know the person that shared this with you. Give me 60 seconds to share a ketone conversation that might make sense. And then we talk about it and, hey, I didn't know that. You know, the problem is we oftentimes run into people and their mind's made up. When they hear ketones, I'm not giving up carbs. Well, you don't have to. When they hear ketones, well, I don't want to eat high fat. Well, you don't have to. Well, when I hear ketones, I can go buy that elsewhere. Well, it's not the same. So maybe we could like cover these few bullet points in a real short kind of intro video, and then just let the video be the tool and see where it goes.
Yeah. The problem is they don't know what they don't know.
On that. Make me do that for us all. Let's
sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
You were also talking before about aging, anti-aging, longevity, and I know that you talk a lot about fasting because in US you have the reboots and all. So I know fasting, a lot of people here already try fasting, but fasting with ketones, it's another level. And it's actually because most of the people think more hours, but with ketones, it's completely a game changer.
Easier.
So Coach Rob, what can you tell us about this?
Well, let me answer your question real simply. If it weren't for ketones and fasting, my wife would have murdered me by now. She would lose all pay. Like, in other words, when you don't go with food for 36, 48, 60 hours, which is kind of our threshold, let's face it, you're going to be cranky, crabby, hungry, tired, no energy, no patience. But ketones feed the brain. And so it makes the process, which it's always a difficult process. By the way, I'm in the middle of the reboot. It started last night here in the US. I don't eat until Wednesday, and my wife's making Christmas treats to take home for Christmas. So it's very difficult if it weren't for ketones. So here's what I would tell you. When we first created the keto reboot or 24 fast, we started just with ketones and water. Ketones and water. Now, you could probably find some bone broth, or you could probably find some just chicken or beef broth that's got no calories. It's more just like bouillon with water. And think of ketones, even though it's not a meal replacement, think of it as breakfast, lunch, dinner, and just drink the pack. And watch how your body responds. I could go into all sorts of benefits of fasting, whether it's a one-day fast, intermittent fast. My biggest obstacle was, gosh, I'm 50 years old. I don't want to lose muscle. Well, ketones keep muscle. Like, that's a hashtag. If you want to remember anything, ketones keep muscle. So if I'm going to go through this catabolic state of no food, I'm going to break down, use up all my glycogen. We kind of say go after glycogen the first 24 hours. Tomorrow we'll keep on to ketogenesis. All the glycogen's gone. Now all I have is body fat left. Well, I don't want to lose muscle, so I'm drinking ketones to keep muscle. Now all of a sudden I become a literal high-level fat burner tomorrow about this time. And it's all of the longevity benefits of fasting. I'll say this. I use a term called exponential nutrition. So imagine I had a real healthy plate, chicken, broccoli, sweet potato, some berries for dessert, whatever, just pick a plate. Well, that plate represents macro and micronutrition. So macros, protein, carbs, and fats, micro, vitamins and minerals. When we fast, we get more nutrition from that same plate of food. Why? Because we went through digestive rest and a metabolic reset. So imagine if you did some level of fasting every month, which is what we have our keto reboot. You don't need the keto reboot kit. Just go do 3 or 4 packs of ketones a day for a couple of days. So you go through this cycle of, hey, I got to deplete all glycogen. It takes about a day. I want to get into fat burning mode for about a day. And then you come out, about 60 hours later, and the following month, you'll feel better. Why? You'll improve immunity. Why? You'll make muscle better. Why? Because you're getting more from the food that you were already eating. So I call it exponential nutrition. I would make a strong case that if there's a man or a woman that wants to not just keep, but create muscle, which by the way, we all do because we lose muscle as we age, I would argue between fasting and ketones, it's easier for me to make muscle eating the same protein as it is someone that's not. My body just knows how to better use that protein. My system is in a better state to process, digest, absorb, and assimilate that protein, which ultimately is the building block or the amino acids to make muscle.
Love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. We have a great question from the participants in the Zoom. They are asking if you can give an example of a day of you in ketones and exercise, what you do in your day. How can you inspire?
Yeah. So we created this Core 4 challenge that will eventually become available. And my thought is, could you give me 4 out of 7 days? Like, could you give me your best 4 days a week? You know, I don't want you to change your entire life. You know, lifestyle change is a big word. That's what we need. But if you say, hey, let me help you change your lifestyle, I might put the brakes on and say, whoa, wait a minute. I kind of like my life and I don't want too much change. Well, what if we just start drinking ketones? So here would be my best practice for someone that wants to ultimately lose fat, keep muscle, and age well. And by the way, if you don't have fat to lose, you still want to be an efficient fat burner. So here's my code. This is what I do personally. Prioritize protein. I always use protein in the proximity of my ketones, not protein and carb, not protein and fat. Now, this isn't what everyone does. It's what I do because keeping and creating muscle is super important to me. So I tell people, I don't care if it's your protein powder, if it's some egg whites, if it's some lean lunch meat, turkey, chicken, whatever. I typically just do a scoop of protein, but I'll do ketones and water and a scoop of protein every single morning. Like at least 6 days a week, that's how I'll start my day. I'll drink water with ice, ketones, and I'll mix a scoop of protein with it. Your favorite protein. Like I would highly encourage that. Here's why. The ketones know how to signal the body to use the protein. And most people don't get enough protein anyways. So if you just throw a simple scoop, and you don't have to mix them together, and you might not be a supplement person. You might not want to use protein powder. I don't know, use some eggs or whatever, but that is a tip that I use. So if someone's asking me, hey, what do I do? Every morning I have a glass of water, and then I'll have a glass of water mixed with ketones, and then I'll have a scoop of protein powder, all within about 30, 40 minutes of getting up and starting my day. Okay. As far as I get asked oftentimes about a pre-workout, if you're eating the way you should and you have ketones, you likely don't need it. You don't need a pre-workout. You know, a lot of times they're loaded with stimulants. So ketones is an incredible pre-workout just because of what it stands for: energy, endurance, mood, mindset, muscle preservation, protection. And then I usually will eat within an hour after exercise. I tell people this: you can never go wrong prioritizing protein, plenty of green leafy vegetables, you know, broccoli, green beans, whatever. And look, I'm a carb guy. I don't worry about rice. I don't worry about potatoes. If I want it, I have it, as long as I'm pairing it with protein. That's just the way I choose, right? So I would never have carbs alone. I would never have fat alone. If I have something that's higher in fat, it's going to be really low carb, and I'm going to prioritize protein. If I have something that's got more carb, it's going to be really low fat, and I'm going to prioritize protein. So I'll never have carb high, fat high. I'll never have fat high alone. I'll always pair it with protein.
Okay.
Amazing.
Makes sense.
Makes all the sense. So I think we have all the questions answered. I want to thank you, Coach Rob, because your leadership, your contribution to contribution. Yeah,
that's it.
I'm really grateful for you to be here with us. I hope we can do it more times. And
100%. And I want to make this point clear. You know, we talk about community as part of this, and that's a very misunderstood term. For people watching, I don't even know who your upline is. Like, I have my own team. Like, I have no financial interest to be here, but what you find in this company is a lot of people that just serve because they're called to serve. That's me. I just want you guys to go build a great business. I want you to help a lot of people. And if I can contribute to that, that's what Prove It stands for. So thank you all for having me, trusting me with your people. And yes, we will do it again.
Thank you so much.
Let's finish with
Yes.
high energy. So let's make the tornado. Yeah, Prove It. Yeah. Whoa.
Right. Hey.
Prove it.
We'll see you guys.
Merry Christmas, Coach Rob.
Yes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so
Merry
much.
Christmas to you all. Reach out, all of your people. Feel free to
Thank you
find
so
me
much.
and message me. I'll get back to each and every one of you.
Thanks
Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Thanks
Take
a lot,
care.
Coach Rob. Thanks a lot for all the
Thank
tips.
you.
Thank you.